We were finding interesting rocks here in the Gila River, right down the street from where I live. And this looks to me to be an artifact um, from a civilization prior to our own. This is industrial diamond, this thing. And I can take a known diamond, this one, my paperweight collection. Okay, this is a paperweight diamond cut by Longwen Corporation in Kowloon, China. It is a diamond. I promise you, it is a diamond. And it does not scratch my little stone here. My little stone takes off the tip of it because this is also diamond. This is an industrial diamond coming right out of the Gila River. And diamonds form in fault lines, okay? As well as kimberlite pipes. And fault lines are a lot more common because all the rivers and creeks and dry washes around us are fault lines. And inside them, there was once a great deal of pressure. It's not something that's localized to one thing like the San Andreas Fault. What we have is the Gila River and its great huge fault line across the face of the North American continent. And it's a crack in the ground that goes all the way down to the molten mantle. And the pressure that's inside of there is tremendously greater than inside a kimberlite pipe. Kimberlite pipes are caused by asteroid strikes. Boom! Little boom! Circle of compression right under that asteroid strike. And it creates diamonds, or they're found on fault lines, like boom, 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 like my little circles here along these lines. And people associate kimberlite pipes with diamonds, but they're only a few kilometers deep. They only go down, 3 to 5 kilometers. And that seems like a long way down when you're the size of an ant like we are. But it's not very deep, and 35 kilometers really isn't very deep either, but it does indeed. That is the depth of the crust of the Earth. And we're a living planet. The planet Earth, these cracks in the ground are active. They are not dead. They're not geologically stable. None of that stuff, man. The pressure goes on all the time because tectonic plates turn. And in the north, because the planet's turning that way, they turn counterclockwise. They're being turned by the rotation of the planet. Okay, so the planet's revolving, and its revolutions create a force against the tectonic plates, forcing them in a counterclockwise direction in the north and in a clockwise direction in the south. Okay, so get down here. And we're rolling by, and no, it would be going this way, but we're looking up, and it would maybe get forced counterclockwise. What do you think? No, it would go like this. If we're on the bottom, the wheel's going to be going like this. Boom, boom, boom. So it turns clockwise in the south and counterclockwise in the north. And that turning, that revolving, is what creates the forces in geology. And those forces are shown in the cracks in the ground. And those cracks in the ground are geologically stable on planet Earth at the moment. And I don't mean that they're stopped. I mean that they have been going on and on and on for about 1.5 billion years since the arrangement of those continents has gotten the way it is. And that much we can read in the geology of the rocks, because there's strata in the rocks that build up over time. And they leave a record of what happened. Clearly, very clearly, in rocks that don't go away. And so we can read the records of what has gone before. And in our little short lives of 100 years, geological time seems like a long time, but this rock came about with the help of a civilization that was here before ours. It was a full-on space-going civilization. They were the central planet for a galactic civilization. And they were wiped off the face of the earth. In what we call the KT extinction event. It was not a comet, and it was not dinosaurs. It was people. People exactly like you and me. And they left these artifacts, these are diamond, so that they don't get scratched, they don't wear out, they don't go away. They carry a message. They cared enough about you and me to make every rock on this earth carry this message that 15 or no, I think it's 13 billion people died. all at once. And they knew it was coming. That's the worst part of it. They knew it was coming. Because there's a physicist in their time that figured out how to see through time and space. He knew, she knew. I think it's a he in the past, and there's a physicist in the future, a woman who saw all of this and has been working to try to make it better. These artifacts are messages. This one looks like a guy in a spacesuit, but got a big crack in the face shield. Pretty cool. And this one, there's the Tree of Life. But I think it's a picture of the moon, maybe. What do you think? Maybe not. Maybe it's my friend with one eye. These are messages, but they didn't tell me how to read them. I just find them. Interpretation is up to you, and that's what these artifacts are. It's like planet art, and I'll show you some of those. But planet art is it's impressionistic art. It's not photographic images. It's like cartoons or impressionistic paintings with a message. Always, always, always with a message. And they're three-dimensional. They're holograms. And they use these spots, these dots, to give it perspective. And those dots get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. See what I mean? Down in there. And that's part of the structure of the stone, for one thing. And they could control that. They could literally control the way the rocks of the earth are made. Because they were a very advanced civilization. And we are not, because we are held in bondage by the people who won that war. There was a war. And the result was we lost. And you and I are prisoners of war. A war you didn't even know happened because our benevolent government lies to us. And here we are. With lives 100 years long, and we work all the days of our lives. And mostly we don't get to keep the fruit of our labor because we are indeed slaves, every one of us. We are possessions, prisoners of war. A war that was lost 65 million years ago. And it wiped these people off the ground. Right about now, you're saying, this guy is crazy. Well, you know what? Those things were wiped off the face of this planet on purpose. And they're hidden in these layers. 65 million years ago, a ship crashed into the side of the earth, and it cracked it open all the way down to the molten mantle. It cracked the crust of the planet. And what happened was about 5 million years of planet-wide volcanism. And I don't think that happened. I know it happened because all of the volcanoes let loose volcanic ash, and there is a layer of radioactive volcanic ash, or many layers, that were laid down over 5 million years of planet-wide volcanism, and that was radioactive volcanic ash, and it sterilized this planet. It fell on every part of it equally and fell in the oceans as well, and it was radioactive. It was giving off alpha particles, helium particles, helium nuclei, traveling at the speed of light, and they wiped life off this planet. There was nothing left. And then again, about 20 million years ago to about 15 million years ago, another 5 million years of planet-wide volcanism. And there wasn't anything living at all. And it's taken this long, another 20 million years, for our planet to be able to support life. Nuclear physics isn't something you can, like, magic away. You can't, like, wiggle your nose and make it go away. And the guy in the sky is not actually our friend. He is hostile and thinks he owns us. What do you think? Think he owns you? Think again.